Hi everyone, welcome back to Canimando. Today I'm analyzing the film trailer of Despicable Me 3. So I hope you like it, I hope you learn a lot, and let's go into it.
Get down, turn around, show me what you got, you a pow pow.
The first thing you can notice is, so the scene starts, the point of attention is in this car, and you can see how the car arrives, and when it bounces, the two people that were walking the crossroad, you see how they get scared. It's not like they start running and that's it. They just animated how they got scared, like they started to run and they saw that nothing was happening and they just kept walking. But you can see the moment where they get scared, and it's not like both at the same time. First the one on pink and then the other one. So you can see how it feels natural, because it feels like these two people are alive, and then they kept walking out. And so from the beginning we can perceive that this guy is not really a nice guy, so we can have that kind of feeling from the get-go. So when this happens, so we think, oh, this guy is a touchback. So, boom! We like that. So let's see the anticipation. See how the anticipation is. See this car, if we can call it car. So see how the front tips down, then anticipation, then rises up again, and then the hit. So it's not just like moving rigid and that's it. But we can see, even if it's a car, just like how it dips down and then rotates up again, and boom, boom. Look at the frame of hit, how the spacing gets bigger. So boom, from one frame to the other one, boom, big spacing, boom. And see how I just noticed how in this frame, in the frame of contact, how they made so that this car started rotating in the opposite direction, which I don't understand. I'm not sure why they did it. I guess it's because in this frame the car moves a lot, so maybe they wanted to make so the car started moving, so there was more movement in the car just before the impact, so it didn't feel like a pop. But I'm not really sure. I could be completely wrong. So yeah, look at that. It feels great. So I guess it's well done. Maybe also because they wanted the rotation, so rotates in the opposite direction, and then so that this rotation feels more powerful. I'm not sure, but anyways, great animation. And see how the car settles. So it's not just like hitting the car and that's it, but we can see how how everything moves on arcs and settles. And here, great. Look at the first pose. Look how Gru is leaning forward, but we can see the silhouette. The silhouette is really clean, even though the nose is over her. Like, they pose them in a way so that we can clearly see one silhouette apart from the other silhouette, and even though the nose is in front of her, but the main silhouette we can see clearly. There is nothing in front of the other one. The silhouette is clean. They are not touching each other. So from the first frame we can clearly see the silhouettes. And see how the head dips down, and comes up again.
Illumination! Heist music! Heist music!
This one, I love it as well. Okay, so see how as he pops the pop, see how the nose pops the gum, feels like, and you can see how the gum stays stuck a little bit on the nose, on the tip of the nose, just for one frame. Pop. But you can see how the cheeks, how they are inflated, and as the gum pops, how they go back to normal, and see how the mouth moves on an arc. So it goes left and down, down and right, up and left. And Heinz music. Love this silhouette. Love this line of action. Look how the line of action flows from leg. Look at this straight arm, but look at the line of action flowing from the arm, torso, and the other leg. Look how the line of action flows from this arm to this arm. There's a nice curve line of action from arm to arm. See how it all flows very nicely. Ice music. Also, I wanted to point out, notice how the robot puts the music, and it's not like a simple shot, the robot puts the music on and that's it. But you can see how it struggles a little bit. So it feels more natural, it feels more credible, realistic. Because even though in reality, we could perfectly do it at once, just one time and that's it. But the fact that it struggles a little bit adds that extra touch of credibility, because we see, the character is interacting for real with the environment. It's not like everything was pre-planned and all the actions were already thought out, but everything is happening in that very moment. Love how when he lets go the suit, boom, see how the back of the face just inflates a little bit, so it feels like the energy is gone from the front to the back, so the back squashes a little bit, and then as the impact is gone, so the back goes forward again and up again. So you can see how the energy makes everything move back, then this readjusts, and we can see how the face goes forwards and up again. So this moves the face down, just all the squashiness goes back and down, and then boom, up again. So it's very, very subtle, but we can feel it, how the eyebrows as well, how they move down, and then as the energy ends, they settle back up again. See, it's very, very subtle, but you can see how it adds a lot. Even the nose, look at the nose, boom, boom. See how boom, how it feels the impact. Love this. I just wanted to point out, many times when I see animators animate, look at this silhouette. This is really, really nice and clean silhouette. We can see every part of the body. We can see the angle on the leg. It's not like the knee is pointing directly at the camera, so we see almost a straight line. But we can see actually see the angle of the knee, even though this part seems a bit shorter because it's not it's on an angle, but we can see the angle. That's the important part, that we can see all the parts of the body, is that they are not hiding behind each other. And what I wanted to point out, so when the new animators try to make a flip, they many times create the axis of rotation on the hips. Notice how when the body is rotating like that, it's just flipping like that. Notice how the axis of rotation is actually in the middle. So it's here. It's not in the hips. It's here. It's just in the middle of the weight, in the middle of the object. So in this case, the axis of rotation is going to be in the middle of the character. So the axis of rotation, the middle of the character, the part where there is no, in this case, there is no single part of the body in the axis of rotation, but this axis of rotation is the one that is going to have to move on an arc. So it's a tricky one to animate, but yeah, make sure that when you animate this kind of shots, the axis of rotation is the one that moves on an arc, not the hips. Because the hip, even though the hips are going to move on an arc, but they are not going to move on an arc like the bouncing ball arc, are going to be rotating all the way. but you have to make sure that the axis of rotation moves on an arc like the bouncing ball would do. This one is great as well. Notice how, okay, he arrives, boom, places the hand, the other hand, and then notice how he goes to take off the thing, but it's not like just moves it's like that and moves the hand and takes it off, but the face and the hand move closer to each other to take this away. So it's not like the hand moving or the head reaching to the post. Both go to the middle point, both go to a middle position, and then the movement happens. So the head and the hand meet each other halfway. See how they meet each other halfway, and then the hand starts to take it off. See how the hand starts, and then boom. See how boom. There's a small pause here, and a big pop. So notice how it's not like it adds a lot of contrast, because it's not like taking it off and just in a fluid motion and that's it. That could also work, but the fact that they did, so taking it off, so the hand starts, then the head, a small pause, and then boom, one frame where he finishes to take it off, adds a lot of variation, adds contrast. So it adds a lot of appeal to the animation, even though it's not really seen, it's felt. But see how it just adds a lot of contrast. It's great. So small pause and boom, take it off, and then the hand finishes to get in pose. Look how the fingers drag, and then boom, they get to the pose. Notice how the anticipation, so he's going to inflate the gum, so notice how he gets to the pose, and then so he anticipates, takes a breath, look at the stretch on the face, so takes a breath and starts to blow the gum. This one is a really simple shot, but I love it. So he's walking, even though we only see his feet and a bit of his legs, we can perceive the weight. So we can see how the weight is planted, he lifts the other leg, notice how the rotation on the feet, really nice, and then he starts to place the weight in this leg. Notice how the legs start to move to the right as he shifts the weight to this leg. He realizes that he has a step on a gum, so then and then he changes the weight to the other leg again. So he wants to lift this leg, so he has to shift the weight to this leg again. So notice how the leg, the heel, goes to the ground again, and this leg moves to the left as the hips are moving to the left as well. So even though we only see the feet, we can perceive how the whole body is moving. So the weight is shifting and this leg lifting. See also when he lifts the feet, it's not like stay on that pose, but we can see how goes up and settles on an arc. So it's like up on an arc and settle. It's not like get to the pose and that's it. Up and an arc and settle. This one I love it as well. So dance, nice, and then look at this pose. Very, very nice pose. Look at the line of action from one leg to the face, from the head to the other leg. Look at the arms, the contrast on the silhouette, really nice straight lines, and then the curved lines. So you have that very dynamic pose. So the movement starts, so he anticipates down, and see how it leads with the hips and the knee, how the knee moves up, this feet is still moving down ever so slightly, and the knee is moving up, the hips are starting to move up and forward, the body is moving down still, the hips keep moving up and forward, then the feet start to move up as well, the body is still moving slightly down, then the hips keep leading, see how the feet keeps pushing, then boom, very dynamic pose, the jump, boom, boom, see how this leg, the one who's supposed to jump, so with this leg is the one that is making him jump up. So notice how they let enough bend the frame before the straight, so it feels like a powerful jump. Because if you had the frame before the jump, before the straight leg, you had a very straight leg here as well, it wouldn't feel powerful, because you wouldn't have enough trajectory to make the leg straighten. So they kept a bit of bend, and then boom, the jumps happen. Boom. Notice how there's one frame where the legs is completely straightened, so the frame pushing the whole body forward, and then boom, boom. Notice how the feet drags back a bit, so even though this frame is the one pushing up, the feet drags back a bit, so boom, the hips are already pushed forward, and then the feet is just dragging back, and boom, then it comes up, this feet starts to go down, so you can see how everything is overlapped, boom, boom, the body comes, then the hanging time like a bouncing ball, you can see how this arm still moving up, this leg moves back down, the first one, so it starts to move down when this leg is still moving up, boom, and you can see how this hand stays there on the same place. So so there is the drag, so you have the feet moving down, then the feet disappear, then the hip disappear, and then the body disappears. But they kept this hand here, look how little it moves from this frame to this one, so the whole body stretches, and then boom, so it feels more dynamic. So when you drag the parts of the body behind, when in a jump or anything very fast, it feels you can make the movement even faster, because the body doesn't feel it like a pop, it feels like boom, fluid motion, because everything moves, drags, and boom, see, over one frame, boom, everything happens. But we can feel how everything moves, and by this, boom, see how it feels like the hand drags back just for a tiny bit. And the hang time, right? So boom, hang time, so hang time and boom, fast movement. So you have the contrast. Boom, bam.
It's some kind of monster.
Wait, that's not a monster. That's a man wearing shoulder pads. There's only one supervillain whose fashion sense is...
This one is great as well. Notice how when they make a camera cut, it's not like the character is already in the final pose, but the character finishes twisting to the pose, so we can already feel the movement from the get-go.
There's only one
Then notice how leads, how the feet readjust, how everything moves, and see how the arms, so he has gotten to the pose, and then the arms settle, so the arms swing forward a little bit, and then so you can see how everything is overlapped. Even if it's very pose to pose, everything is overlapped, even if it's a tiny bit.
supervillain whose fashion sense is quite...
Great. Notice how this again the overlap, how jumps, how moves forward, and then look at the shoulder and the arm start to move back. The head is still moving forward a little bit, and then the torso and the head move back. Then the arms start to move forward with the shoulders and the torso, but the head is still moving just a little bit, and then see how the head finishes, the arms go to the pose, and then the head gets to the pose last. So and then the arms move back, and then the head moves back.
It is quite that dated. Balthazar Brat.
Also, notice this pose is beautiful. Notice, look at that. So, ooh, and settle. Look, they settle into the pose. But then, notice the line of action from the arm to the shoulder pad. Then this nice line of action, straight line from the head to this leg. Then this really nice line of action from the leg to the shoulder pad. So you can see how everything flows. Very, very dynamic pose.
I want every agent on the...
Great here. So notice how the arm and then the head. Ooh.
I want every agent on the scene immediately.
Agents Crucy are closing fast. Wait, wow, what did you call us? Crucy. You know, Gru and Lucy mushed together. Crucy.
I like it, but not a lot. I don't like it.
I love this one as well. So I like it, but not a lot. He's happy, but then he's happy. He could be speaking happily here. He blinks. He could kept speaking happily here, but then instead of, so he blinks, the eyebrows go down as he blinks, but then instead of making him just raise the eyebrows again, open the eyes and keep talking happily, they kept moving the eyebrows down so that then he gets to this pose, I don't like it. So they changed the expression just with a blink. Just in the blink, the transition of the blink goes from happy, blink, I don't like it. And notice how the white of the eye is above the eye in this one, so it's happy. The cheeks are moving up, so the lower lids are in front of covering the lower part of the eyes. And then as he changes expression, the opposite happens. So the upper part of the eye is touching the upper lids, and the lower part of the eye is not touching the lids, and we can see the white part of the eye just between the eyelids and the eye. So it changes the facial expression completely.
I don't like it.
He's getting away. That's what he thinks. Get ready.
Get ready for...
This one is great for many reasons, but just let me point out. So he's moving like crazy, but you can see how they find ways, they find moments to create that line of action, that fluid silhouette. So even though he's moving like crazy, if you make sure that if you can have nice poses between the crazy poses, same as here. So crazy movement, boom. But then you have that pose where you have a very line of action, very fluid line of action, very nice silhouette. So between the cows, you can always have really nice silhouettes and line of actions. So same here. Look at the it doesn't, we can see it very clearly, but we can see how the line of action flows from one arm to the other one. So even the line of action doesn't need to be great just in the poses, in the main poses, but in the breakdowns, in the in-betweens, if you can create really nice lines of action and silhouettes, the better your animation will be. And then you can see he's leaning back, and then slowly straightening up and slowing the movements, and I'm fine. See how he straightens up slowly bit as he slows down. Ooh,
Hello, Gru.
What? Girls!
Okay, so first, notice many things in here. Ooh, look at the silhouette. Gru is great all the time, but then, okay, look, we can see his face, we can see his hand, clean silhouette between the hand and the arm. We can see how when he goes to aim at him, how the gun and his head move closer to each other. It's not like the hand is raising or the head is going down, but both go to find a middle point. Ooh, see, how the torso, how the line of action goes from a straight to curve, straight line of action, curve line of action, and boom. Oh, what? Nice line of action, nice silhouette. Ooh, leading with the shoulder and torso, boom, and unfolding the arm. Oh, what? Notice how when he shoots, notice how the first to react is the head. So the head goes back, even though we can begin to see the movement on his body, but then the rest of the body is the one that squashes up and recoils back. So we can see how it's overlapped. The head, even though it seems like it's all happening at the same time, but it's not. It's the head, and then the head pulls everything back, and then the shoulders raise, and then the hand finish to get into the pose. And then he finishes. What? Stop. Look at that line of action between the arms of the Gru, how it flows. What? What? Both are Notice, great. Carl.
Girls!
I love this. Notice how he's angry. And then how he takes the tongue out and goes to aim, because he's now just throwing a water gun. So he's not on angry fight mode in this very second, because he's not gonna hurt him. So the emotions change a bit. So look at the hand, how the pose changes completely. He's angry, and just by rotating the wrist and lifting the hand, the pose changes completely. Angry, and I want to hit you. Angry, I more like playful. Look, their shoulder raises up, so changes the pose. So the emotion is felt differently, and boom, goes to throw the water gun. Look also how he throws it. Look at the wrist, how when he throws it, it bends a bit, so it feels, so the whole pose is conveying this new emotion. And then goes to punch him again, and then we can see the facial, how it changes again, and boom. Oh, nice. Notice how the dynamic, it follows a path of arcs, and boom, jumps again. Notice how the arm helps the body jump, even though in reality we couldn't do this jump. In animation we can exaggerate everything, but make sure that you use all the things that we would use if we wanted to make this movement. Make it so in animation those things happen as well, like the arm pushing the body up, so trying to lift himself up. So boom, we can see how the arm helps to push himself up, boom, and the legs as well, boom. Look, this really nice line of action, boom, silhouette as well, and boom, nice, boom. Look, this into the pose, ooh, how the body eases into the pose, ooh, very small spacing. Dance fight. Okay, this one is great for many reasons. Let's just watch it frame by frame. So, wow, see how he starts to dodge the punch just from the beginning. Look again, the line of action from one arm to the other one. But he starts to dodge the punch from the beginning. Boom, boom. What? Da, 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 da. Yeah. Then Gru's angry, but then he moves. Boom, steps away. Boom, tries to hit him again. Look at this really nice line of action. Straight. So really clean silhouette versus more complex silhouette. We can see this hand here, so it's not covering, so it doesn't have the hand in front of his body or in front of behind his arm, so we can see the hand in all the time. So that adds a lot of the pose, because we can see all the parts of the body. So really dynamic pose. See how boom to the arc, boom, and then goes to the next one. Look this line of action as well. Very 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 nice. Look as well, really nice silhouette, line of action flowing from one arm to the other one. Boom, and again, boom. Chum. So this one, oh, I dodged it. The other one, oh, I didn't expect this one. Oh, but I dodged it as well. Ha ha ha. So we can, oh, I didn't expect that. Oh, dodge it. Ha ha. And Gru here. Whoa, what is, I'm trying to figure out what is he doing with the feet. So you can see the eye darts on Gru. And then he looks at him. Ah, come on. Boom. Ah, love it. Nah. Nemo nah. Look at the arc on the nose. Nemo nah. Nemo. See how squash pose and strays on the face. So they use mwah. So it almost feels like the shoulder is pushing the head forwards. So it's all animated, so it feels like a wave motion. So the head moves and boom forward. So it's really nice. Woo. So the energy of the shoulder moving up is followed by the head moving forward. So it almost, the energy flows. So, and the energy is flowing. So the energy on the shoulder pad is moving forward and up, woo, and then as the shoulder pad stops, then the head moves forward. So the energy is continued. Ooh, see? Really nice. And then boom, stop. See how they animated the camera? So when Gru hits him, it shakes a bit, it rotates a bit, so we can feel like the knockout feeling like wow, boom, like oh. See the camera, how it boom, moves the camera, boom, and it rotates. Oh, boom. I love the when he goes to get the diamond. Love how he imitates him, like making fun of him.
This is not over!
Here, just wanted to point out. Notice how boom. So the body hits the ground, then the legs and the diamond hit the ground, then the body moves up, the legs and the diamond are still touching the ground, and then as the body keeps moving up, then the legs and the diamond move up, and then the body moves down. So you have that overlap, that wave motion. So it's not like the whole body impacts and moves up, but you have that overlap. Torso and legs and diamond dragging back, and then diamond and legs and torso moving up. Ooh, so you have that wave-like motion. Here as well, I love how we still perceive the inertia moving to the left, and they make the camera cut, but we could see like, oh, but it feels like it should kept swinging to the left. But as they make the camera cut and they make the legs keep swinging to the left, so we can almost feel the inertia keep going just by the legs moving to the left. It feels nice. It doesn't feel like we're missing something. Ooh, see how it and then goes from relaxed, shoulders up, straightening, legs down, and oh, we can see the tension. Even we don't see his face, we can completely see his tension. I don't like this.
Happy birthday
To you.
Then lastly, I love this one. So when he goes to laugh, do you see how he's holding the laugh, how the eye squints, how the cheeks inflate, and over 2 frames, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Great.
Who's bad?
Just a small note. The first time I watched this, I thought this was real. I thought that this was a scene from real life and they animated the characters on the scene. But I thought that all these characters were real people until I watched it again and I realized they're all animated characters. But just wanted to point out that because the lighting, the environment is so greatly done that I actually thought that this was real. But no, it's animated, so insane work. So yeah, insane, great work. I love the trailer, I love the animation. I hope you liked it too. I hope you learned a lot. If you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments. Check the description because you'll find nice things there. And until the next animation analysis.